Welcome back to Try Not to Die. I'm your DM, your dungeon master, No Perito, and I'm here with...
Lisa Condemi, your humble and devoted adventurer. Which one? We'll see.
We will see. Guys, we are back! It's campaign 3, baby! We're here! We're so back. We spent a good 5 minutes before this recording saying how back we were, both to confirm and also to really just get into the spirit of how back we are.
We got stuck in a loop and we passed out, but now we're back.
We only have 3 more minutes left on this recording, so we're going to do it fast. It's going to be good. Campaign 3, 3 minutes. Here we go. Let's jump in the way we always do. Stories are an essential part of life. They're in every living creature's DNA. Information, a story of survival passed from parent to child, each page read shaping countless other stories simply through the act of listening. Sometimes they're meant to distract us. Other times, educate us or get us to feel and understand new ideas and people. Maybe the meaning changes, or maybe it has multiple interpretations, but all exist and are told in time. So, let me tell you a story. This is a story of redemption, a story of aspiration, a story of absurdity. This is a story about a terrible job. But before we tell that tale, we must finish another, as a story can only begin when the last story has ended. We find ourselves in the world of Erdheim, deep below the cracked surface of this cursed land, in the labyrinthian dungeon of the Lich Lord Grimgrave, wicked wizard of the underworld. For too long, this mage has cruelly ruled over the realm, unleashing his undead hordes to corrupt, conquer, and destroy. Many have fought to free their peoples from his despotic control, but all attempts have failed. Until now. A group of heroes, each from different walks of life, have joined together to free the realm of his tyrannical darkness. This ragtag team has been on this journey for many months, traveling through the brutal storms upon the seas of Morthalasso, battling fierce monsters in the mountains of 1,000 miseries, and surviving the legions of undead sentries protecting the Lich Lord's cursed tomb, all to find his final phylactery, the last piece of his soul binding him to this material plane. If they can destroy this core, they will eliminate his ability to regenerate and rid the world of his evil legacy. And that's where we are right now. You have led your party bravely through this ancient dungeon, albeit perhaps a bit brusquely, facing acolytes of the Lich Lord, deadly traps, and horrific necromantic monstrosities. Overworked and literally exhausted, you have pushed your team to the brink in order to finally get your vengeance on this wicked wizard. Acting as your party scout stealths the charismatic halfling rogue Vile, their nimble fingers wrapped around the hilts of dual black daggers holstered in their brown leather tool belt. Head shaved, bright hazel eyes brimming with intense focus. Behind them, guarding the center of your group, is your try-hard squire, Sir Halen, this young, tall, sun-kissed skin and rosy-cheeked, blue-eyed human man wearing scuffed, creaky, worn steel plate mail. His ancestral blade glints from the lights conjured by your party's mage, Professor Praguntus Poppenquizen, who warily watches his surroundings through thick, magnifying glasses. The ever-paranoid older gnome with sable skin and dark brown flecked white goatee clings to his ancient dry wooden quarterstaff, focusing on maintaining the dancing lights cantrip to assist those on your team who lack dark vision. Behind Poppenquizen is the elven cleric, Bless Wholeheart, this timeless elf with alabaster skin bright against her midnight robe that sparkles as she elegantly glides over the ground, a certainty within misty gray eyes as if you head towards some destiny that she somehow knows. Bringing up the rear, we find, well, Lisa, would you like to introduce your character and please tell us a little bit about what brought her here?
I would love to. The leader of this group is a middle-aged goblin woman, small in stature but loud in presence, with a stern way of walking and clanking makeshift armor, which is shamelessly cobbled together from scrap metals and mismatched pieces made for larger folk. She has a short sword strapped to her back that's heavily used but well taken care of. She does not wear any jewelry or unnecessary accoutrement, just a worn satchel of leather at her side. Her keen amber eyes are almost always narrowed. Her brow is always rigidly set in skepticism or concentration. She wears a stained but clean bandana, red for convenience, over a short chestnut pixie cut. Born deep in the winter of a hard year, a soldier born of soldiers, a cunning battle master fighter, a tough captain, and a tougher friend to the very, very few who may call her one, she is Jassifer, aka Short Sword Jass.
And what's going through Short Sword Jass's mind right now?
Short Sword Jass is here in body, but in her mind, she is back on the battlefield where she last faced Grimgrave many years ago as a member of the illustrious horde of goblins that she was in, a massive goblin army made of sheer numbers meant to overwhelm Grimgrave, and she failed. She turned and she ran and decided to take another attempt in a different way instead of in an army to become an adventuring captain. And right now, at the crux of this mission, she is doubting herself. She's trying not to doubt herself. She's worrying about her team. She's worrying about her own hind. She's pretty much thinking of everything besides what's actually in front of her.
The exact thing you want from a leader. Now, deep in the dungeon of the Undead Emperor, you are near the heart of his power, the core of his being that, if eliminated, will free the realms of his immortal influence. You're exhausted, scared, still bleeding from a recent skirmish with some cultists performing a ritual, but you know you cannot risk arrest here in the heart of all things evil. Though your party protested a bit, you forged on, and as you near the bottom of this final grand set of stairs, Vile signals for you all to hold with a raised hand. The party crouches and hugs the walls, all still taller than you, as Popinquisent dismisses the dancing lights, shrouding you in darkness. Taking a step further to peer under this archway decorated with carvings of brutal, ancient atrocities, you see a long hallway that glows with a sinister, pulsing scarlet light. The smell of iron and rot fills your nose, but you are unfazed. These scents are nothing new. You will not be dissuaded. You have arrived at the doorstep of destiny. The heart of the Undead Emperor is ahead, at the end of this adventure, just beyond a thick rune-covered door, infernal iron and black stone at the end of this long hall. Sir Halen, ever ass-kissing, looks to you and the party, a confident grin across his youthful face. This is it! The moment we've all been waiting for! The Lich Lord falls today. Tomorrow, we will be heroes!
I think I just give a side look at his loudness and his enthusiasm, and I say, don't count your chickens before they hatch.
He kind of nods. Give me an insight check.
Okay.
The first roll of the campaign.
Ooh. I have -1 to insight.
Perfect.
I rolled a 12. That's an 11.
You look at him, and just as you would hope, as a soldier would, he immediately shuts that down and gets back in the game. You don't read anything further from there.
I nod brusquely and refocus on the path in front of us.
Bless, the elven cleric, bows her head and closes her eyes, uttering the prayer of her order. So it is written, so it shall be told. Next to you, Professor Preguntas curses to himself in Gnomish before looking to you with clear frustration.
Let's finish this so I can return to my work.
Halen nods, sword in hand. Soon we will be free of the undead Emperor's tyranny. Right, Jass?
Everyone remember the plan. Don't get stuck in one space. Move fast and move with certainty.
They all nod. Vile looks back to you from the front, their smirk hidden by cloth, but evident in their tone and the glint in their hazel eyes. Should we push, hard and fast, or should we tread with care? What do you think, Short Sword, since you're the one calling all the shots?
You're not sneaking up on a Lich Lord. We go in with full strength.
You leading the way, tell me how you proceed to this grand iron door. It's covered in these intricate carvings, some of which are clearly like ancient runic symbols of death, of pain, of torture, of trauma, and then also these designs of, people sacrificing themselves, like spread out, flayed, just these terrifying carvings all glowing with this red pulsing light as if there is a heartbeat beyond.
I crane my neck up and I look for a doorknob, as most doorknobs are above me.
Okay, give me a perception check.
I have a +3 to perception. That's going to be a 17.
A 17. Looking at this door, you see that the centerpiece does have kind of this circular tracing around it where there is the carved face of what you assume / what you remember to be the Lich Lord's face. And in his mouth, you see that his jaw is kind of affixed to be like a door knocker, if that makes sense.
I'll turn to Preguntas Popinquizen, our resident wizard, and say, what do you think? Trapped?
Indubitably, this whole place is trapped.
And you know Preguntas is someone who is ever paranoid. He is constantly suspecting that people are out to get him. So you watch as he kind of lets his eyes go back and flash with silver light. He casts Detect Magic. And you do indeed see that he nods.
There's so much magic here, it's difficult to tell what exactly is at play. But undoubtedly we must proceed with caution.
Okay, so the knocker is like inside of his mouth, right?
Yeah, it's like literally it's the equivalent of like if there was a skull mounted on a door and you just grabbed the bottom of it and yanked down to sort of initiate a door knocking or opening process.
Always worth checking if they're alive. I cup my hands around my mouth and holler up to the door knocker, are you a living one or a dead one?
Your words echo throughout the hallway to no response. It seems, at least for now, this is a dead doorknob.
I gesture to my team to pull the knocker.
You see Preguntas summons a mage hand and sends it forward to grab the bottom of it and pull down. And as he does, there is a flicker of red light that traces through the scarlet emanating from the door as the magic surges, and you watch as the centerpiece drops down to reveal the head of this scaled creature looking at you kind of slack-jawed, literally a beheaded basilisk. The moment that it opens, you see the red light surges through it and its eyes kind of weakly open up and flash with that blue light. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Everyone duck! Phew, that's a 21 for me with my +6. Jassifer's a hardy gal.
A 21. Your allies also successfully manage to avoid this creature's gaze, and you avert your eyes as this like flash of energy reanimates this head briefly to attempt to petrify you.
I was right, it's a live one.
And then the moment after, the energy leaves its face, it droops down again. The skull slides back up, and the scarlet light continues to trace the frame. The trap now disabled, the scarlet light glows bright as the sound of air releasing and intricate mechanics whir, the seal broken, the door slowly grinding open. Your party readies themselves. The professor aims his staff. Vile ducks low and draws their daggers. Bless prepares a buff for your party, and you see Sorhalin raises his blade and looks to you. Let's do this!
I curl my fingers slowly around the hilt of my short sword and then whip it out with a harsh screech. It glows in the light as we press forward.
The door opens and reveals a vast chamber, easily 60 feet tall and 120 feet wide, styled with this corrupted black stone Gothic architecture, skeletal carvings detailing the Mad Mage's evil exploits. These spiked spires along the walls pointing up towards the ceiling where an ever-flowing stream of blood pours down like nightmarish waterfalls, filling a glowing pool in the center of the room. Rising from that pool is a pedestal formed from skeletal hands gripping each other as if clamoring to reach the wretched core positioned atop them. Red light pulses from the veins of runes that line the floors, walls, and ceilings, the heartbeat of the Lich's phylactery, an urn lined with blood-red gems that sits in the nest of these bony hands. You all stand, ready, but nothing immediately happens. It's quiet. Too quiet.
I thought he'd meet us here.
You look around. There's no evil despot of death. He wouldn't leave his phylactery unguarded. You know that he is present here in some way. see Vile look over to Preguntas. Professor, do you actually want to check this time? You see Preguntas' eyes flash again with annoyance and then scans with the detect magic he had up.
Again, the space is heavily enchanted. There's so much power, I just cannot detect a source to dispel.
Good, I'm glad you're here.
Give me an intimidation check.
I add +6 to these.
Good.
That's a 25.
You see that your words, I think even without a high insight, your words do have impact, and you know that. So you may not be able to read what goes through a person's mind when you issue such a direct, intense command or retribution, but you see that he, just as Halen did, reacts, kind of goes inward, and again, readies himself. And as he does, after you speak, you suddenly hear a voice, raspy and whispering, that somehow fills this grand space, scraping at your eardrums.
Heroes of the realm, you've traveled far, lost much in your war against my forces, and now, finally, you have come to me, hoping to end my rule. The same old story, yet another pathetic attempt to change the tale of my world.
You're wrong about one thing. I don't have hope. I have determination, and I flex my hand again around my sword, waiting for him to appear.
Yeah, we have determination! And you see Halen like posing behind you. He really, he really does absorb some of the spotlight in this moment in a negative way.
I shake my head to let him have it.
There is a pause, and then Grimgrave's voice again emerges.
I will give you one last chance. Abandon your doomed efforts and join me. You may live eternally as generals in my armies, or you can die here, and I will raise you as grunts in my legions of undeath. Either way, we will finish our conquest of this world, and then move on to other worlds, other planes, other realities. You can rule alongside me and act as my guard as we march through the multiverse, or you can die by my hand.
I look at Preguntas. He's gone mad with his power.
The voice of Grimgrave cackles, this dry, hollow laugh that sends shivers down even your spine. A laugh that you heard only once before on the battlefield from which you fled.
If you will not serve as my advisors, then you will serve as my minions!
This pulse of red light comes from the Lich Lord's phylactery as it glows brighter and brighter and brighter, faster and faster. The ground rumbles as you watch the gems of the urn glow, and smoke begins to pillow from underneath its lid. Blood rises from the pool and swirls around the pillar of skeletal hands, the light growing blindingly bright, the lid shooting off and shattering. Blinking, you focus and watch as the spirit of the rotten Archmage Grimgrave emerges. This wretched wizard dressed in black robes embossed with red runes, flesh practically sloughing off of his face as he laughs maniacally. He rises into the air, and I need you to roll initiative.
Woo!
Guys, I can't believe we're getting to end the campaign this early. Thank you so much for all your support.
It's been huge. Thank you guys for coming on the journey. It all comes down to this. I rolled an 18 with my +2.
You actually rolled higher than all of your allies, even the rogue on your team.
I am so ready. His words are barely bouncing off of my mind as I am just focusing my gaze in on this person who, not even a person, on this thing that has taken so much from me, years of my life, my self-esteem and respect for myself, my friends and brethren who fell to him. There's no choice he could give me that would tempt me now.
Up at the top of the round is the lair action. The blood of the room continues to coagulate, swirling around and forming into these monstrous beings that are clearly previous victims who have fallen in the lair of the Lich Lord. Your allies ready themselves, but the attack is so swift, the bloody conjuration swarming you, slashing out. I need you to give me a Constitution saving throw.
That is a 21.
A 21. You save, but you are still going to take half damage.
Okay. I raise my sword and kind of slash through some of the blood. Gang, I'm starting at 84 hit points with an armor class of 19.
And you are currently losing 26 hit points.
You always come in and ruin it.
As you manage to grit your teeth and let this this bloody monstrosity attack you, you push through it and kind of blast it apart, but in doing so you feel some of your life force is pulled from you and kind of returns into the pool. You feel weaker, you take that damage, and we are going to move on to the legendary action.
What the fuck, Noah?
This is a Lich Lord, my friend. Grimgrave sneers, lips splitting to reveal bone underneath.
A pity to waste such powerful warriors.
And he is actually going to use all 3 of his legendary actions up at the top. He brings his arms
we're just
back
starting.
and swipes forward to form an X, the blood becoming tendrils that shoot out into your allies. I need you to roll another Constitution saving throw.
That's a 22. I'm doing pretty well on these con saves. I have been doing many push-ups and sit-ups every night.
You have trained for literally years for this moment, and the past few months have been like a hit course in that. You have only been honing your skills. You knew that you would be facing this powerful necromancy, and you've toughened yourself to push through it, even when it is taking the life from which you draw that power. You and your allies twist and pull away from the tendrils that kind of splash down and turn into a liquid state, splattering against the floor. The Lich Lord looms over you, black magic crackling around him.
For too long you have remained a thorn in my side. You shall fall first, Jassifer.
You take 21 damage.
I cough up blood. Good. Come and face me.
Finally getting to face him once more, not running away. You are marching headfirst into this battle, and you notice your allies, they look panicked. They are seeing you being attacked. They are doing their best to fend off this force, but you also notice they are already tired. Again, you've pushed so hard to get to this point, and they are at the end of their rope. This may be a final battle for everyone.
I'm looking wildly around, seeing where is the healing from Bless and where are the force fields from Preguntas, and why isn't Vile behind him already?
It is actually your turn in reaction to this. As your allies are kind of reeling, you still are supercharged by the fury and the vengeance in your heart. It is your turn.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I have been getting sieged with these waves of these bloody resurrected beings. The Lich Lord himself, how close to me is he?
I would say he's like 30 feet away total.
Okay, word. And he's just like hovering like a little vampire.
Yeah, he's just hovering, laughing maniacally. He keeps on just like saying things like,
"Your fools shall never be able to defeat me,"
as like his blood just like swarms around you and is like lashing out at your allies.
Looking at my options, Noah. To hit someone who is 30 feet above me.
I am so high up. You're so short you cannot possibly hit me.
I know that I have to try and bring him down to where we are. I'm going to try and shoot him down with my crossbow.
Okay, go ahead and take a shot.
First one is a 12.
12 does not hit. You shoot a crossbow up at him, but he is easily able to throw up this like wall of blood to tear it from the air and throw it to the ground.
For the first time in this entire adventure in months, my hands are starting to feel a little bit clammy, but I am very good at keeping my heartbeat steady and at keeping my game face on. I'm going to steady my hands and take a second attack. That's more like it. That is a 25.
A 25. You steady your breath, mark your aim. You see already your allies are recovering from his initial onslaught. Halen has drawn his blade and is taking up a flanking position. Vile has already disappeared. You know that means that they're in their element and ready to attack. Preguntas is preparing a spell as you watch Bless begin to utter a prayer. You know that this is your turn to strike back. You shoot off the bolt, and though he throws up another wall of blood, you watch as it bursts through and strikes true.
Incredible. My damage for my crossbow is a d8 plus 2. I rolled a 6, so that's 8 damage. I am also going to use Fury of the Small. He's a size larger than me, correct?
He is indeed. He's a medium undead creature.
So instead of 8 damage, it's going to be 18 damage.
Ooh, baby!
But even with adding all of the fury and anger that comes from being this tossed down person who is like barely a speck to him, I understand and realize in that moment that none of our damage can keep up to what he has already done to me. And I turn to my team and say, this is it. Everything that you have now.
As you say that, you see Vile leaps from one of the pillars, blade drawn. They plunge it down towards them. I'm going to roll an attack. That is unfortunately, first one's a 14. Second one is a dirty 20, but you watch as, same with you, this like wall of blood like flies up, grabs their hand, and throws them down into the pool with a splash. Using that moment as a distraction, you watch as Halen rushes up, kind of coming around, as I said, flanking for you, and is going to strike as well. That's a 15 on the first one, no hit. And a natural 1 on the second. You watch as he brings the blade up, the Lich Lord laughs and swings a hand out, slashing in half, shattering the blade.
Damn it, Halen, can't you hold onto your sword for once?
Oh, I'm sorry. Still not phased, Preguntas is going to raise his staff, and though he despises close quarters combat, preferring to take shots from a distance, he is going to cast haste on you.
Incredible.
You take this shot, he like runs by you and taps you with his staff, and you feel this like vibration power within you. You now have a +2 bonus to your AC. You have advantage on dex saves, and you gain an additional action on your turn that you can use to either attack, dash, disengage, hide, or use an object in some way.
Yes, we can still do this.
He pulls back then, continuing to move around this circle, kind of just keeping it so that you're not all locked in one place. That is his turn, and finally it is Bless's turn. She, at initiative 10, begins to utter a hopeful prayer in Elvish. She is going to do what she does best and cast Bless. You see a glow within the chests of Halen, herself, Preguntas, and Vile, but none within yours. She casts Bless on the rest of your group, and then pulls back towards one of the spires to kind of take cover and hold concentration.
I think I noticed this out of the corner of my eye, but fending for myself is something I'm very used to doing, and I almost kind of see it as a little bit of like a crutch.
As you're thinking that, it is finally time for Grimgrave's official turn.
Uh-oh, I don't know if he should get one.
Yeah, he decides to use it to cackle.
Let's talk.
Great idea! I'll talk to your ashes!
Not what I meant.
Give me a dexterity saving throw, and you do have advantage on this.
Okay, I have +2 to a dex. The first one is a 19. That's going to be the highest.
How many hit points do you have?
Noah.
I have insanely good news for you. I just dealt 31 damage.
Holy shit.
You just barely managed to dodge out of the way and feel it like grind up your torso. Pieces of your flesh, it's not even as if you get cut open by this. It's as if the atoms themselves are broken apart and just like dust begin to pour and flake away. You feel a deep wound that is strangely hollow in the type of pain.
I stumble and cough hard, and I expect to see blood coming out, but it's just gray dust.
As you stumble at this, it is now the top of the round, the lair action. The Lich Lord himself is going to do the most terrifying thing he could possibly do, and roll a d8 to see if you can get a spell slot back. He does indeed.
No. No, what?
And he is now going to use a legendary action.
The cool calm that Jassifer usually has, which is kind of, one wouldn't expect it of her given she seems quite irate all of the time, but she does have this like assuredness and ability to kind of steal through things, and that is starting to slip a little bit as she feels herself more injured than she has been in a really long time.
The world is spinning. You begin to hear your allies calling out to each other, but it's farther away.
Bless.
He rushes towards you and grabs for your chest to raise you up. He's going to try and do a paralyzing touch attack. That is definitely going to hit. That is going to be a 27. He literally brings you 30 feet into the air, and you feel your body begin to kind of lock up a little bit. I need you to roll a con save.
Another 21.
You are not paralyzed, but you do take 10 damage.
Feeling this terrifying force as I'm lifted off of my feet, I'm going to use one of my battle maneuvers. I am going to use parry, and I just kind of am able to steel my body in time against this, and I'm going to roll a d10 to subtract some damage. I rolled a 4, meaning I subtract 6 damage from that attack, so I got hit for 4 damage, right?
That is correct.
I have 2 hit points left.
We now continue to move down the order. It is your initiative. He holds you in his hand, and you do feel this like life-draining energy, this pull of necromancy that is drawing you into him, but you cling on to for dear life and ready your next attack.
Halen! I reach behind me in my shaking hand, and I think Halen just knows automatically that I am using my commander's strike, instructing him to use his attack for my attack, essentially. This uses Halen's reaction.
Okay.
And he will also add a superiority die to the damage roll if he hits.
Okay. You watch as Halen, kind of shaken from this panic, goes, "I will save you, Jass!" He rolled just enough to hit. He rolled a 17, and you watch as, even though that is exactly the Lich's armor class and he could use shield to defend himself, he chooses not to. As Halen rushes up and swings this broken blade, attempting to hurt him, he deals 7 damage plus whatever you add with your superiority die.
I rolled a 10.
Immediately regrets not using the shield. What the hell? My gods!
Your biggest mistake was doubting us.
I don't doubt them. I doubt you.
With Jass's second attack, she is finally going to loose that short sword and attempt to plunge it into the Lich's neck as they are in this deadly embrace. Her hands slipping and trembling. I rolled an 8 plus a 7. That's a 15.
He doesn't even need to shield. As you attempt to stab him, he raises a hand and literally lets the blade hit it and go through, but just closes it and stops it in midair.
I remember you. How you ran. How you left your people to die. Don't worry. You'll join them soon. Your horde marches with me now.
You might be able to kill me, but you cannot kill the determination. There are people everywhere that want you dead.
He sneers and laughs as Vile leaps forward and attempts to take their 2 attacks. +6 to hit, that's a dirty 20. You watch as though that would indeed hit, the barrier of blood flies up and throws Vile to the ground. Hainlin rushes forward, attempting to stab with the blade. That is a natural 15 plus his bonus. That is gonna hit even over the shield. He deals... Oh my god, Aelin.
He deals 1,000,000 damage?
He deals...
You're freaking out because it's so much?
He deals 4 damage.
Oh. Deeper! You have to go deeper, Haelin!
I'm trying! Unfortunately, is thrown away. Preguntas is going to cast a lightning bolt spell, hoping to take him down. These crackles of lightning coming from Preguntas' staff. He takes aim and fires this bolt that crackles through the space, shooting towards the wicked wizard, who has to use a legendary resistance to take half damage because he failed with a 6.
Careful with that thing, wizard.
Do you want me to attack or not?
Yes, yes! I also don't want my ass singed.
30 damage, halved to 15. The Lich Lord is taking hits at this point. And as you guys are bickering back and forth, he looms over you, still clinging to you, and goes,
You should have really worked on your team building.
What, like you and have a bunch of minions made of blood?
At least they listen to me and enjoy my leadership.
And as he says that, Bless steps out from behind the pillar and is going to look to you and go, This is the moment. Casts heal on you, gives you 70 HP.
70?
70. She casts a 6th level heal spell.
This kind of moment that could be a great connection for these two people, and instead Jassifer turns her head to her, still being held over the ground by this evil undead emperor, and I say, about time.
As you are filled with this healing energy and you say that, give me an insight check as you look into the misty gray eyes of Bless.
That's a 13 with my -1.
With a 13, I will tell you, Lisa, the ever-knowing look that Bless Wholeheart has carried with her throughout this entire journey is unfazed. She almost expected you to say something like that. And as you turn back to the Lich Lord, and you look with a grin on your face, eager to take him on, he looks at you with pity.
A failed soldier, desperate for approval, depending on those around you, without a care for what they want. It's a shame that you won't have time to change.
He's going to cast Power Word Kill on you.
No, 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 no.
You watch as Preguntas raises a hand to counterspell.
I look at him and I nod, my eyes very wide. I have seen Grimgrave do this before.
And though he attempts to counterspell this Power Word Kill with a 17, he is unable to beat the DC of 19. Grimgrave's mouth moves, but you hear nothing. As you look around, your allies' eyes flicker to you as everything slows. What is going through Jass's mind right now?
Failure. All of those second chances. And you're still a failure.
Grimgrave's lips cease their movement, the Power Word Kill uttered, and with that, it all goes black. You are dead. Thank you so much for listening.
If you enjoyed the show, please follow us on Spotify or leave a review on Apple Podcasts.
Thank you especially to our Eldritch patrons. If you would like to become an Eldritch patron, go to patreon.com/try-not-to-die-pod. Want to find out what happens next? You can actually catch the second episode of Oddjobs right now on Patreon. At the $5 tier, you get access to the afterlife. That's right, you get access to heaven or hell, it's up to you, via the exclusive talkback show where we discuss what happened during this arc.
You also get access to a bunch of other bonus content like recipes from the show, polls, and other random stuff we're cooking up.
But if you really want access to a bunch of other full-length episodes, sign up for the $10 tier for the content search where we play out usually canon one-shots, test out new systems, review nerdy media, and really do anything we can to entertain you.
And of course, a huge thank you to Lore Party, the network that supports us. Lore Party Media is dedicated to celebrating the power of stories that shape who we are. If you enjoy our show, please check out their other shows, which you can see on loreparty.com, or you can just search Lore Party in your favorite podcast streaming platform.
And you can check me out on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch, all under the username Noah the Infuriator. No spaces, just Noah the Infuriator.
While you're at it, hit up my socials too, Lise vs. Life, that's Lise vs. Life. Follow me on TikTok, and then while you're at that, follow Try Not to Die Pod on TikTok too, where we post clips of the show.
Thank you again for listening, and until next time, try not to die. All hail our Eldritch patrons! Especially Anina, Any Major Dude, Ashley, Becca B, Bugroots, Colleen, Colin, Ian, Eclair, Alana, Emily, Grace, Hope, Jacob, James, Jeff, Joey, Karen, Kate, Katie, Leo, May, Morgan, Nat, Nicola, Page, Patrick, Roni, Sahara, and of course, our producer Patty, Patrick Bronstetter, and producer Daddies, Drew Bailey, Sam Golden, Becca Mount, and Rose Evelyn Campbell. We thank you for these podcasting powers and promise to raise hell in your names. Till next time, try not to die.